We
Yes,
couldn't
please.
be more happy to welcome all of you to this open call, and we're super excited to open the lab. As you know, we launched a couple of days ago, actually. It's not that long, right, Per?
No, it's actually 2 weeks ago now, and it still feels extremely exciting and super fresh. And I mean, it's just getting started, and it's a whole new chapter for us, and it's something we've never done before in that way. And it's just extremely exciting, and it basically, yeah, fulfills um, our early wish in our early days. But we'll talk about that later on during the meeting. Um, Jan, what do you think? Shall we start? It's 5 past.
Yes.
Just step into it slowly and get you guys covered what we're doing today. So
Yes.
in general, I would say we'll keep it fairly tight. We'll give you an overview of the platform. I saw that a lot of our members are joining, which is super nice, and we are extremely grateful to have you with us from the early days. And also a lot of users who haven't joined yet. But we love to give you an overview of the platform, talk a bit about our purpose, why we did that, and I'm especially looking forward to the Q&A we do at the end of the session. We'll keep it
Yes.
tight, about 30 to 40 minutes. Walk through the platform. I will show you a bit of examples of one specific shoot. I will do some live color grading to show you a bit about the Capture One styles we offer, and then jump straight into a live Q&A where you guys are invited to drop any question that you have, whether it be on the platform, the Curated Lab, or on photography, on retouching, on your career, or how I like my coffee.
That's good. Yes, please feel free to raise your hand virtually. If there's anything unclear, of course, please in context to the things that we're explaining. And as Per already mentioned, in the end, we want to give you as much room as needed for all questions you have. So the Q&A in the end will be open until your last questions are answered. But as Per already said, the introduction part and the overview part should be fairly tight. So that being said, I think we just jump in, Per.
Yes,
And
and actually, before we do that, guys, if you have or give yourself just 10 seconds, can you share with us what your main interest is? Is it lighting? Is it retouching? Is it color grading? Is it career? Is it something completely different? I would really love to know. Feel free to drop that in the chat so we get a nice overview. There we go. Lighting, career, color grading. I love it. Thank you, guys.
excellent, excellent. That's so cool because we want to point out that this lab has been built out of our wish to create something that unites the creative professionals, giving them some guidance on giving you guidance on your next step, and to create a place where you can share everything among like-minded people. And we want this to be a growing place, and that also indicates that the curriculum we have planned and that we rolled out partially already is not set in stone. So we are here also to adjust according to the needs of the lab family. That's how we love to call it. We are family, we are here for each other, and we're here for shared mutual growth. And so that says that we want this to become a place for everybody that wants to grow and that wants to go on that next step on that journey together. And as you're
Absolutely.
all dropping in the chat, that's so nice to see. And I like to see the different topics that are of interest to you. And just to pick it up where you were just putting it, we will of course cover all the technical parts. That's one pillar of the Curated Lab. So that means that everything, lighting, photography, color grading, color consistency, and also the finishing part, retouching, and everything that comes with production and making things ready for shipment to your client. That is one part. the other part is that we want to guide you and share with you how a creative career can unfold, and what like stepping stones we had, what challenges we had, and how to maybe overcome those, how to talk about positioning, about everything that has to do with developing a career as a creative.
Yes, absolutely. And I personally like to view it as well, it's the platform that I wish I had when I was starting out or in the middle of my career. And I like to view it as basically your creative mentor, because I personally think real growth and development comes from interacting with each other and having someone who's more experienced than yourself. And I myself still have my mentors and people I look up to and ask regularly questions because I mean, technically, it's the one side to have the technical abilities which you learn on the platform, but also to have someone to guide you and to be there if you have questions. And that's like Jan put it, we are family, and I love to view it as family because it's a safe space, and any question is good and allowed, and it's good to ask many questions, and that's what basically the Curated Lab is about. It's about collective growth.
Yes. Um, so, Per, why shouldn't we now start with like
Yes, before we
telling
talk too much.
a bit more about the mission, and then we step into showing actually what's inside.
Yes. I mean, basically, what we just said covers our mission, like I said, collective growth and making the people around us better. I think, well, that's such a beautiful purpose in life to live your life the way to make the people around you better, and the things that you learn on the platform, you can also share with your fellow creatives. And basically helping each other and supporting each other. And that's our main purpose in developing the platform and now establishing the platform. And it's always nicer if everybody's growing around you instead of just one person, right? So that's basically our purpose of the platform. Jan, do you have anything to add?
Um, well, I think that's well put. The thing that I think is most important to me personally is that we see that as a journey, and that we see like the whole process of creating beautiful imagery, or the imagery that our clients really want. Is we have to see that we're in the service industry, and we have to understand the needs of clients, and we want to open that to everybody, since that is what I think has been my biggest challenge when I started in the creative industry 23, almost 24 years ago now, is that I didn't really have that much experience outside of, let's say, the technical basis. And we want to make sure that everybody that didn't have like the insight yet, and also everybody that is already professional in this industry, has the ability to create repeatable excellence in quality. And that starts with the creative idea, like Per organizes his shoots and creates the concepts and mood boards and the color schemes and everything. And it continues with post-processing those images, making sure you have a coherent, repeatable quality that you can give to your client. And because you can do like a ton of great jobs, but if you screw up the last one, it's probably your last one. And happened to me in my career. And we want to allow you to understand and to grow into the confidence that you can deliver what your client wants, and to make sure that it's repeatable and that you have consistent quality. And it's more like it's a mixture of like the technical aspect, but also of understanding, communicating with clients and with agencies and among each other, to have a clear communication, clear expectation management, and then to deliver on point. And this is what I think is crucial in creating excellence in imagery. And that is what you definitely will learn. And the other thing that we want to open with this community is that we want to bring experts and people from our network into the live calls to give you the possibility to talk to persons that really can share valuable information with you. Per, are you still here?
I'm still with you. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
I
because
listen carefully and
you
enjoy
vanished.
what you're saying.
You
No, no.
vanished. You vanished from my screen. Just wanted to make sure that you're there.
No, I'm still there.
Anyhow, yes. So, Per, I think we can share a bit of a preview.
Yes,
Or do we do
absolutely.
that
Absolutely.
later?
Um, let's jump into the platform and show
Yes.
you guys a bit what the platform looks like for everyone who is not yet familiar with the lab, and to anyone who is familiar, just give you another rundown of the platform. We'll keep it tight and quick, but just so you get an impression of what it looks like. So let me see if I can share my screen. All right, let's see. Can you guys see it? Seems so. So basically, when you join the lab, this is your dashboard where all the magic happens and all the tools that we offer on the platform come together. And what we do have on the platform to elevate your career and your craft is basically the pillars of lighting, where we share over 60 industry tested lighting setups in full breakdowns. I will jump into that in a second. We'll have over 60 Capture One styles, which I created during the course of my career and basically evolved from Capture One style to Capture One style. I will talk about that in a second as well, how I like to approach that. We have the part of retouching, which is a big ongoing part. It's different modules that build upon each other. Jan will talk about that in a minute. We have a full equipment overview of equipment that is used on set, and I'll jump into that as well. We have a lovely community, which is part of the Discord channel that we have. Jan will walk you through that. And we also offer one-on-one sessions and personal mentorship as an additional feature that you can choose if you want, where you can dive deep into certain topics that you like to discuss or want to get better in. But let's jump into lighting for a second. And what you see here is basically the lighting setups that we offer on the platform. Those are all shoots that I had in the past from the last couple of years. And it's a mix of editorial shoots that I had the privilege to do and also commercial campaigns that I was able to execute. And I'd like to jump into a project with you guys that I did for Numéro. And this is basically how our lighting pages are structured. You will get a short project intro, you will get the before and after image, so you have a better understanding of what's really done on the image or to the image. You get an exact step-by-step guidance of how the light was built. You get proper 3D setups, so you can easily replicate that and get creative with that, and especially feel inspired by it. So that's basically what my personal hope is, that it inspires you to think lighting differently and think outside of the box and maybe challenge your own way of how you approach lighting the way you did it before, and maybe just get a spark of new ideas that you can translate into your own visual style and visual identity. And yeah, that's basically, you get step-by-step guidance here. You get a full equipment list of the equipment that is used on the shoot, and you can download your equipment list here and basically bring it directly to a rental store or to the studio that you like to shoot in. You get an overview of the crew that was on set, because without a great team, there's no great image. that's what I like to point out for sure. It's a combination of great individuals coming together, sharing the same spirit, and creating magic on set, ideally. You get a glimpse into what happened on set through BTS videos of that day, and usually get some additional imagery to get an even better understanding of how it's done on set. And after you've done so, if you feel like doing it, at least that's how I envisioned it, you'll jump into the Capture One styles. And like I said, it's also over 60 Capture One styles that you find on the platform. Give me a second. My connection
Not
is
loading.
slow. And by the way, if you guys have any questions on that during the session, feel free to post them.
I just wrote it in the chat, so all good
Perfect.
there.
Great. So now that we're on the Capture One styles page, like I said, it's 60 plus Capture One styles that you find here. As the intro, you will find a video by Jan that he recorded for you, where he basically explains in detail how you work with the Capture One styles. Right. Jan goes into great detail on how you apply them, on how you import them, apply them, how you work with the styles, how you use them, how you can incorporate them in your everyday workflow. Because, I mean, that's our goal, that we want to make your workflow, your photography workflow, smoother, slimmer, ideally innovative to yourself, and inspiring. And yeah, you will find the Capture One styles here. And let's jump to the image that we were talking about. You can download it directly here. Well, technical difficulties. I've got some, there we go. So you can download the styles here, and I'll jump into Capture One. I won't go through the full installation process. It's quickly done, but that's not the point of the stream, obviously. Once you downloaded all the files, it's basically what you see here on the left. So we got around 61 styles that you can choose from. And all of them are from jobs that I had the pleasure of shooting in the past. And I just wanted to show you a quick example of how you can apply them to various images that differ from each other and how you can get creative with that. So for example, if you pick one of the styles here, I'm just hovering over them so you can get a feel of what they do to the image. They all look fairly different, and there are, like I said, some commercial styles, some editorial styles, and to invite you to get creative with them. And let's just maybe do that one here. And you basically have that as your base, and it invites you to think it through. And I like to point out that not every style fits every image. You will need to get creative, to tweak the styles to your needs, to your image, because every image is lit in a different way. There's different styling, there's different sets. It might be a studio portrait, it might be on location. So that's very much open to your own personal interpretation, how you do it. And yeah, then you basically play around with what you got here and tweak it to your needs. Let's see. Let's maybe grab that one here. And you could apply also like a black and white style and play around a bit with it. Let's see, play with clarity or the loved inverted vignette. Play around with that and get creative and see what it does to the image. And you know, it's not magic. I like to test every slider and see what it does to the image, and then spark my own creativity and see where I can take an image. So that's always a super fun process to me. playing around with colors or black and white. And I personally believe your soul is a reflection, or your images are a reflection of your soul, and colors transport so much of your own identity and what you really feel inside. And I invite you to try that out rather than just copying, but more like testing all these styles and see what they do and find your own unique voice, because every one of us is different and everybody has a different approach to life, to photography, to color grading, to retouching. And I think it's so important to find your own voice within that. And yeah, that's at least how I like to approach the topic of color grading of photography. Jan, do you have anything to add on that?
Yes. First of all, I think I love the explanation that you had with that it's coming from your soul. It really resonates with me because, over time when I have been working with images, and I have been working with a lot of images, it always felt like I want to finish the vision of the creative team behind it, but I love to do it in a very playful way. That means that I love exploring and I love making use of the tools that we have in Capture One or in Photoshop. And what you guys will learn in the retouching and also in the color grading module is that it's, as Per already said, it's not set in stone what you get there, and we want to invite you to be very playful with it and to explore what resonates with you, what you would like to tweak in your imagery. And I want to give you a very simple recipe. Every image can be broken down into three components, and that is color, luminosity, and saturation. And the main goal of color grading and of color consistency and coherence in a series of images or in a campaign, for example, that you do for a commercial job, is this beautiful balance between those three elements. And all the tools inside Capture One and in Photoshop are designed to make sure that you can work on each of those components, like the saturation, the luminosity, also known as contrast maybe, and light and shadow, and the saturation. And if we bring that in balance, we have control over the image. And that is from the perspective of post-production, that is my main goal that I want to give all of you in the lab, is that you will have complete control over your imagery, making sure that you can deliver the images the way you intend them to be, and to make everything coherent in the final delivery for your clients. And that all starts with creating the colors and with setting the mood of the imagery that you are shooting and that you are then taking to be finished in Photoshop, either by yourself or you get all the information you need to have the best communication with your retouch artist. Yes, and I guess that's what I wanted to add to this.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much. Jan, do you want to jump into the retouching section and give a quick overview of that and what you have to offer and what is planned? And
Yes, of course.
what I like to add, you have a base of 60 plus styles here, and we plan on enhancing that month by month. So you will have added new lighting setups, new Capture One styles. A lot of retouching videos are coming. And obviously also our live sessions haven't even started yet. Today is basically the kickoff for the live sessions, and we'll have various live sessions during each month to get you covered with live Q&As and also portfolio circles where you guys can send in your own work, and we do our best with all our experience to give you helpful tips and share our experience based on your work.
Yes. All right. Let me, Per, if you stop sharing your screen,
Yes.
I will take
Let's
over.
see. All right.
Let's take that one. Where's the button?
By the way, I love that you guys are already posting a lot of questions in the chat. That's amazing. We'll cover that later on.
Can you see what's happening
Absolutely.
here? All right, perfect.
At least, at least I can see it. Can you guys see it as well?
I'm sure the others.
No, we
Yeah,
can see it.
wonderful. Thank you. All right, let's jump into the retouching section. Of course, there's a little intro where I personally greet you and where I give you an overview about why retouching is, why retouch at all, because I think it's very important to talk about that. So, what you will see and what you can expect inside this module is the complete thinking and structure behind my retouching workflow. And I start with setting up Capture One to the way that I love working with it, and that also my team is working with, so that we have the best, let's say, structure in a workflow that we can all relate to and that we can share as a group. Of course, this is nothing you need to do, but I want to give you a few of insights of my day-to-day work that made my life so much easier because as I'm working professionally in this field, I have to be like mindful about my time and about production because clients always need it yesterday. You know that, and so we want to make sure that we work as efficient as possible and with the most confidence that we can have. The video Per already mentioned is applying the styles. There's different ways of doing that, and I want to point out, that's the next video, why it is crucial to think about whether you are developing your images for editorial production where you might have, let's say, much more creative freedom and you can really go overboard and be very creative with your colors and styles. But also I want to show you what is crucial when you work in a commercial job and what happens when you have like the grade, because this question is a very often asked question, like how do you grade for commercial productions? And why is it important to think about that? In commercial productions, there's always more people involved than in a shoot that you probably do for a magazine or maybe for your portfolio. That is because there, most of the times in commercial productions, there's an advertising agency or let's say the marketing department of your client involved. And most of all times, there is more than one person that has some opinion. And sometimes, you know, there is like the first level of brand managers, and then there's their leads and their bosses, and it can go back and forth. And it's very important to understand and to know that you might need to go back. And if you go too far in contrast and color, you might end up in trouble because you need to go back a few directions, or the worst thing that can happen is that they say, well, we like the retouch, but can we go somewhere else with the color grading? And if you go too far in the beginning, that can lead to some problems. And I will cover everything about how to make sure that you stay in the most control possible. And that is what this video is about. We go through the essential tools for retouching and my Photoshop workspace setup so that you learn what I use in my day-to-day basis. And I think the two most important videos that are often underrated is how to set up a file very logically to stay in control and to make sure that you guys always can react to whatever wish comes back from your client. And the masking logic is super important for me. I think that was the learning about in my career about creative control is how to stay in control about all the different elements in an image, because I need to balance them out to get the best quality. And there's a lot of other videos coming soon that you will see here that we will drop over the course of the next weeks and months, followed by, I think, our next drop pair
is on for our elite users on February 10th and for our pro users on February 25th, I think.
All right. So the next ones are advanced basic skin retouching and basic hair retouching, which covers a lot about how to approach files, and there will be more advanced modules coming also, and there will be so much more in terms of file logic, about color grading. There will be full retouch sessions, and to show you guys how to go from start to finish in Capture One to the final delivery in Photoshop. And that is also where we want you to take part in all of this. We want to, in our Discord, we will have polls, and the community can then decide which images we start working on in these sessions, and we will share all the breakdowns with you so that you know all these single steps to go from start to finish. As we know that start to finish retouches can be very, very helpful. And as we always communicated also in the beginning of the Curated Lab, we want to stop the gatekeeping. We want to make sure that you understand not only how to do things, but why we do things. And yeah, I think that's that.
And if I may add, what we're
Sure.
also planning for the future is to offer you guys raw files that you can work on yourself. So you don't just you don't just consume the content, but you actually have files, good files, high quality files from our shoots that you can work on and develop your style, develop your skills. And yeah, that will be part of the next weeks and months.
Yes. And yeah, and we also want to, as Per already said, we want to make sure that you guys can share the work that you did and just among each other. And so also Per and me can take a look and guide you guys through this journey. Because
Because
it's
after
important.
all,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, go ahead.
Because after all, like I said, I mean, it's always a possibility to learn by yourself and consume the content. That's an amazing baseline that you have. But the proper growth starts where you communicate, where you get guidance from more experienced photographers, retouchers, or creators in general. And that's basically, well, like I said, part of our mission. And we want to offer you that during the course of the next weeks and month. And that's also part of the community that Jan is sharing right now. Like we said in the intro, we will also have guests from the creative industry who will join us for portfolio reviews, for live Q&As, and we already got some high-profile names in the pipeline joining us, which I'm super excited about to tell you more about in the next weeks and months. And yeah, that's also a big part of what we plan with TCL.
Yes. Maybe we can give a short, quick outlook without telling you guys who it is, but because we want to keep that as a surprise for you. The thing that we are aiming for and that we know that will bring you a ton of benefit is that we bring people that you usually don't get access to, like editors, chief editors of magazines, people that help with production, people that help curating portfolios. Per,
creative directors. We will have creative directors. We will have brand directors with us. We will have art directors, art direction studios with us, and
stylists, makeup, all the people that.
And actually, also, which I'm looking forward to, photographers representatives. I think, well, I've got a lot of questions from the community. If it's a good or bad idea to have an agency representation as a photographer, and we will definitely cover that as well. Yeah, it's going to be really exciting, I have to say.
Yeah, and also Oscar's asking if we will have LinkedIn recruiters. Let's see.
LinkedIn, well,
if there's enough need for that, I don't know.
Anyway,
not yet. All right. So that being said, now that we're in the community area, I would love to give you a very quick look into the Discord. Therefore, I need to switch sharing. I guess wait, like this, and one more time. Is it here? Yes. There we are. So you guys see what's happening inside Discord. We just to give you a quick overview, we announced the events here. There's a basic information panel. We have got a few rules. I want to point out one thing that is very, very, very important to us. And that is that this is a safe space and this is full of like security for everybody. We want to make sure that you guys are free to share everything. And everything that is shared inside the Discord will stay inside the Discord, inside our lab family. If there's anyone that like spills it out into the world or that is like sharing things that like sharing the vulnerability of others, that's a red flag and a no-go. And we don't tolerate that. We want this to be a super safe space, and we want to make sure that you all get the best out of it and that you stay like in a positive mindset and that you help each other. And that is what we see as the family. We would love for everybody to introduce, and as you can see, there's a lot of people that have already joined and that are discussing and that are saying hello. And there's a general discussion. We introduced a job board, and we also have a mental health channel. That means that whatever happens, if you're struggling in your career, if you have a question that is like on your heart, you can share it here, and there will be a respectful communication among all the families. We want you to share your wins, and a win can be anything. It can be that you graded your first image. It can be that you landed a job. It can be that you just had a fucking great day and you want to talk about that you know, it's the small and the little things, and that this is what keeps the community alive, and that what we want to foster in this environment. That will be a place to have your portfolio circle submissions. And Per, you wanted to add something?
No, I just wanted to add, especially also with the wins, I think it's so important to every now and then celebrate your wins, be it a small win, be it a big win, to cheer you up and to be proud of yourself, of how far you've come. And I mean, of course we have bad days, but that's part of the game. And it's even more important to celebrate the great days and be proud of yourself, be proud of the people around you. And that's the place to share that and to, share that joy with others.
Exactly. And of course, there's this education section where you talk about the lighting setups, the Capture One workflows, everything retouching. We have a lot of questions already coming in, and we're discussing this in all the parts. And I think it is super nice that people are already starting, exchanging each other, helping each other out. And this is exactly what this place should be. It's not that this is a one-way road where only one side talks. We want you all to talk to each other. And we want to foster this environment for everybody to grow, to share. And that's that. And for all our elite users, we do have this elite circle where there's direct access to Per and me, and where you have like the opportunity to have like your Q&A submissions. And Per, what else to add to the elite?
Well,
Do we want to cover that in the next step?
I would say we cover that in the next step, yeah.
Okay.
But do we want to talk about the community features in general? Well, I mean, we do have Discord, but this is one part of the community. But like we said, we also, Jan, do you want to jump back into community on the Curated Lab page?
Oh, sorry, I just stopped sharing. You can do that too if you want.
Yeah, right. It just looked so super smooth on your computer.
All right, well, I can jump back, no problem.
Hold on, I'm gonna share. Let me see.
I just did.
There we go. Okay.
Are you sharing or me now?
I think we both are.
Well then.
Hold on. Do you want to keep sharing?
Yeah, I will, and you can feel free to talk.
Good. Hold on.
If you say it's more smooth here, let's go with it.
Wait. All right. So basically, another part of the community. Well, it's not just the Discord, which is the heart of the community, but we also have regular live Q&As for our elite members, where we cover all of your questions and dive into them in detail and really help you to tackle that certain problem and discuss it with us live. We'll also have the portfolio circle, like I said, where you can bring your own work and share it with us. And we'll give you guidance and tips on how you can elevate your work and what could be done better, what's already great, and give you clear steps on how to build a portfolio. Then we also have challenges and guided projects, which I think is super interesting. The idea is basically that we are a magazine or a commercial client where we give you guys a certain brief, like an editorial idea, and you execute it during a course of 4 to 6 weeks and come up with your basically finished product using our lighting setups, our retouching videos, our Capture One styles, and we'll guide you on that and basically give you hands-on tips on how to properly execute a production. And we'll also have member spotlights where we highlight, the work of our community, be it exceptional work or users that are super engaged in the Discord, and we'll have that monthly to just give you a platform to show your work, to show you as a person, if you feel like you want that, of course. But it's meant as like a tool of giving you reach and visibility. And the last part, which I'm super excited about, is our upcoming podcast. It hasn't launched yet, but we are planning to launch it within the next 2 months, where we'll have sessions with just Jan and me, where we discuss topics from the industry. For example, how do I properly pitch to magazines? What do I have to look out for? How do I win commercial clients? But we'll also have guests during these episodes from the industry, from the broader creative industry, to give you guys a broad perspective on creativity in general, but always with a certain, how do you say, like a certain tip or program that you can use in your everyday work life as a photographer or as a retoucher.
Yes.
Jan, do you want to add anything on that, on the podcast?
The podcast is, of course, open to everybody. And we want to make sure that we bring all our network in to generate the most value for our listeners and, of course, for you as the lab family. It is very important to understand that one cannot grow alone, and we need perspectives from other people. And we have, at least I've been working in the creative industry for almost 24 years, and I've met so many inspiring people. And that is one of the reasons why I actually founded the lab with Per. That was one of my main motivations, to create a space where we share like a collected wisdom, and the collected wisdom of the people that we met. There's so many excellent creatives, producers, editors, and all those people that make productions a success. And it's wonderful to have the perspectives of everybody to really understand what this is about, because it's not an isolated process creating an image. It's about how to tell a story and how to deliver on point. And it's wonderful to understand, why do editors select what they select? How do they react to portfolios? What is it that really sells, and how to position yourself to be the person of choice? And especially in these, let's say, uncertain times with so many changes in the world, and also technically, it is great to have, and that is the core of the lab, as we said, with the community. We want to bring all this together to have a place where we can share those experiences and be together in that changing world. And that's what I wanted to add.
Thank you so much, Jan. And the last point I want to mention, it's, as some of you may know, I love to bring upcoming photographers on my sets to give them a feel of what it's like to be on a major set and suck up the vibe and feel the dynamics that happen on these kind of sets. And if there's opportunities arising, I will post them first at the Curated Lab for our elite users to jump on set, to join me, and to basically, yeah, suck up the vibe and what it's like to be on set.
Yes. Per, maybe we should very shortly, just very briefly, because everybody can read that on the website, but maybe we should very briefly talk about what the difference between Pro and Elite is.
Absolutely. So basically, Pro is your baseline plan. That's the toolkit that you can come back to every time. You get the lighting setups that you can either learn from or um, take with you on set to certain jobs that are fitting and get inspired by. You get the Capture One styles that you can use again and again, and you get the retouching modules. And for the Elite plan, this is basically all that you have in the Pro plan, but the biggest differentiator is that you have the direct access to Jan and me. So, like I said, 70% comes from the tools, but the big step in growth comes from the 30% that you have direct access to experienced professionals like Jan and me and get the direct interaction with us and can chat on certain topics in person with us. So that's basically what differentiates those plans.
And maybe to just add to that, um, within Pro, let's say with Elite, you get also the live Q&As with our guests, with us, and the live portfolio reviews. Um, for everybody that is in Pro, you will get access to the replays. So we have the replay library here, which will be filling up over time. The live Q&A from today will be added here, and then all the upcoming videos will be featured here. For Pro users with a short delay, and for the Elite users right away. And that is just for you to know. If you are learning in your own pace and you just want to consume, Pro is absolutely right for you. Wonderful. And we created that to bring you the most value. But if you really want to interact and if you want to have direct access and exchange with everybody that is involved in the lab, Elite is the choice. That's the core difference. And we just want you to understand that that is the point. Okay, I guess that's that. Everything else about that, you can ask us anything in the Q&A in a second. Per, was there another thing that we wanted to say before we jump into the Q&A?
I actually think we covered most of it. Do you want to introduce our nice little offer that we have prepared for you guys? By the way, just one more thing that I would like to add. The session from today is, of course, available within the lab, but this one will also be shared on YouTube, so everybody can rewatch it, or if someone wasn't able to attend, can also watch it there over the course of the next days or month.
Yes. All right. Let me share this other slide. And now you can talk about it, Per.
So, and we created a small offer for anyone who's maybe still deciding whether to join or not. For anyone that feels like they want to join, and this is a great idea, we prepared an offer that's available until tomorrow. And for anyone joining on the Pro or Elite yearly plan, we will select one member that gets their full yearly fee by us refunded. So basically, it's a full year on us if you decide to join until tomorrow. And for the first 10 new members that are joining until tomorrow, you will get a 30-minute personal live onboarding call with Jan and me, where we tackle all your questions that you may have, whether it be on the platform or your photography, your retouching, or your career.
Okay. And
if you guys got any questions on that or on anything else, I would say we can start the Q&A if you feel
yes,
ready.
and And please feel free to just raise your hand or unmute yourself. We want this to be a very open discussion. Ask us anything. Don't be shy. This is a family, and we want you to ask everything that's on your heart.
And
Oh, by the way, can you unmute yourself? I hope you can.
I mean, we do have a ton of questions in the chat, Jan. We can also tackle a few of that first. And if someone wants to talk directly, like Jan said, raise your hand if it's possible. I don't know. Can anyone share if it's possible to? Yes, you can, Tom. Thank you, Tom.
All right. So whatever you prefer, we can start with the questions that you put
Okay.
into the chat, or you can just.
I mean, I'm jumping in here to answer Peter's question. He's asking if I have a standard camera setup when shooting in the studio. Well, I do. My go-to is usually the Canon R5, which I love shooting with. I actually have I actually have a Canon camera tattooed on my arm. It was my very first tattoo when I just started as a photographer. So I have to shoot with Canon, I guess. But I also love working with a Mamiya RZ67 Pro 2, which is an analog camera from 1995. I love using it if the clients allow it, but if the client is not with it, I use it for editorial productions or for personal productions a lot, together with the Portra 400. And what I also love using is the Fuji GFX 102 for major productions. If there's a need for a lot of megapixels and dynamics within the images, then it's obviously easier to work with those. Personally, and it's just my opinion, it's not my favorite camera to work with, like a medium format, like a digital medium format, just because it's fairly slow. And I would say I'm a quick shooter. So I love the R5, which is super easy to use. Or if I really want to focus, then it's an analog camera for me. So I hope that answered your question.
All right. Let me scroll back up. There were so many questions. Thank you all for your questions. Max asked, how do clients approach you, or is it you approaching them somehow? Well, Max, I think it's a mix, right? So it depends. And that is one thing that we will definitely cover in the positioning discussion. It's about, if you are the person that offers everything, you are not specialized. And let me give you the example of my career. When I started as a retouching artist, I did everything just to get jobs, which is fair to a certain point. But once you establish like a certain level of expertise, for me, I think it made sense to specialize into more segments. Like I specialized in beauty, hair, and everything that is like in the color grading area. So I did all the commercial jobs, like huge composings, and I still do that. But I'm not advertising that anymore because clients do know that we can deliver that. Yet, if you want to, step out of all the masses, it absolutely makes sense to specialize and to niche down. There's a lot of like pros and cons about that, at least in someone's head. So some people say that if you niche down, you might lose like some other jobs, and I think it's the opposite way. When you're niched, and for me, if, for example, I'm niched down in hair retouching, I can communicate much clearer to my ideal client and to my ideal client persona, and that leads to more recognition, to more visibility in that area, and that finally, of course, leads to like people are being more interested. But it takes courage and it takes time, and it's okay to not do that in the beginning of a career. But as I said, over time, I think it makes sense. And then people reach out to you. And if you're specialized, for example, let's stay with the hair example. I can way easier communicate to other hair clients because I can say, I know all the issues that you have. and I can like let them feel that I understand all their needs. And they see that, oh, he's specialized, or this studio is specialized in hair. So I bet that they also do beauty well. I bet they can do all the commercial key visuals, for example, because they know what it's about. And that was a big step in my career. And it took me time to really decide to go that step. And in Pear's case, for example, I believe once Pear established his style, it was way easier for him to be recognized for exactly that and to be booked for that, right, Pear?
Yes, and actually, it perfectly aligns with the question from Kyle. He's asking, is it important to have a distinct style in your photos? What if brand's visual direction doesn't align with yours? Do you adapt your style to them or the other way around? And I personally believe it's the most important thing to find your own visual style. And let me give you a short story about that. For a long time in my career, I was basically producing, like the portfolio stuff and the free work that we do as photographers and retouchers. I was producing it with the thought in mind, what could client XYZ like? So I would produce just for them. I never listened to myself what I truly liked. I was just producing work that might get me clients, which at the beginning is fair enough because we all need to earn some money and pay our bills for sure. But the true shift only happened when I realized this will only get me to a certain point. So I basically erased 90% of my whole portfolio during a summer a couple of years back and decided, so fuck it. I would do it all differently and just listen to myself and who I am as a person, who I am as an artist. And, I sat down for a full month, erased my portfolio, did a lot of deep dives into who's really inspiring me, what's inspiring me. That might be other photographers from today, from back in the day, but also like movies, art, nature, you name it. And sit down and make a plan, what gets you excited and what is it that gets you excited about a certain visual style. And well, I sat down a full month and wrote that down, made a plan, created a ton of Catcher One styles to get my style refined, and also came up with new style of shooting that I felt was truly me. Because, like I said earlier, photography is a reflection of your soul. You can't deny that because every one of us is so different and everybody has their own eye of seeing the world. So I think it's super important to find your own style. And to answer that question, clients will recognize that. And the beauty is that I mostly get booked for my style, and clients want exactly that. But there's also clients where my style doesn't fully align with their vision, but I'm able to bring in my vision and they still book me because of that style. Because, when you find your style, clients know that you are able to shoot, let's say, a super simple commercial campaign on a white background. Nothing fancy happening, just two lights, and that's it. They know you can deliver that as well, but they still booked you for your style. So I hope that answers the question.
I just read a really interesting question by Shiran. I hope I pronounce your, or Shiran. I hope I pronounce your name right. You're asking, what is the current position of clients regarding AI? And which role do you guys think AI will play in the editorial and commercial work in the near future? And will editorial and commercial shoots generally, entirely be created by AI soon, become a common and widely accepted way of working? That's a wonderful question. Let me share a few insight from a meeting that I actually had today with a large advertising agency. We were discussing exactly that topic because what happens at the moment is that there is a lot of change in that industry, and AI became a crucial part of creative production. and it allows you to solve issues and problems that were not so easy to, or if at all solvable in a way. What do I mean by that? So what we encounter at the moment in commercial productions is that we of course have the onboard creative tools in Photoshop or in Capture One that can help with day-to-day tasks like maybe cleaning images or enhancing certain areas. And we can work, I guess you guys are familiar with all the tools inside Photoshop that you can use, like creative fill or like generative fill, which helps you to, for example, work on certain areas in an image. And I guess that now those partner models have been integrated into Photoshop, like Nano Banana Pro and Flux Context, or even Firefly 3 and Firefly Generative Expand, I think the new one is called, which is very exciting, by the way. It allows us to work on details that haven't been possible before. One example is I was recently approached by an agency that came up with a key visual. A key visual, for everybody that doesn't know the term, is the main image for a campaign. Meaning most of the times it's produced for high resolution prints for billboards or blow ups outside or like at the bus station or wherever. And those have to be, of course, print quality and very high res. And an agency approached us for a key visual for a client, and they had a screen grab from an AI movie that has been created in low resolution. And they needed exactly that image in high resolution, and they wanted it to be printable. And we had to be very creative, combining a lot of different AI tools out there, making sure that we get that those details into Photoshop and stay in control. That is something that is a quite new case. Other cases, for example, have been that, and we're working on a project at the moment where a fashion shooting is taking place, and the client wanted to have 6 different backgrounds. And so we created those backgrounds in AI, and shooting takes place in a studio where the models are shot in the positions to then be composed into the scene. That is a fairly fair approach, I think, that is happening more often. And so that like the traveling to certain locations is obsolete in some cases, right? If the production value, if the production budget maybe sometimes it's a bit too low, that can be a solution. Or if you want to be super creative and you want to create something for a fashion brand that stands out because it's on a, like, I don't know, on the top of a mountain.
On
where
Mars.
it's or on Mars, yeah, but maybe on Earth, I don't know. But something where it would be very hard to create that scene on the top of the mountain, for example, because maybe you're not like having a helicopter at hand at the moment. These kind of things are very easy to create with AI. And going more into your question about editorial work, I guess, you know, everything is possible to create. But one very, very important thing is, and that we discussed today in the meeting, if you ask a prompt artist to create like the whole scene, it lacks the input of maybe the creative director, the stylist, the hairstylist, the makeup. You would have to come up with everything yourself. And the best quality for me has always been like when pros work together and when you have a great team that just clicks, and where there's no egos and where everything is just excited for the best possible result. And I think that is super crucial. And of course, I think we have to rethink workflows. It does make sense to think about how to approach a shooting, because generating in AI has one other very different approach than in photography. When you are done with your photo shooting day, the images are on your computer, and you have like the final results. You got them in high resolution, and when you create those scenes in AI, when does the day stop, right? So when to tell your client, okay, that's finished now. We will take that into post-production. That is a very common situation that we have right now in commercial productions, that you have to define how to create those images. When do we say stop, and when do we move to the next stage? Because otherwise it can be an iteration round that never stops, because there's so many opportunities, right? You can change the head, you can change the dress, you can change everything, but it might not be in control by the quality guards that are the stylists and the creative direction, and of course the photographer. Long
All right.
answer for a short question, but I think, it's not decided yet. But we see that people are very important in that equation, and that the only thing we can do is, to make sure that our clients get the best possible quality and creative excellence in all the productions. And we just need to make sure that we see AI as a tool and not as a replacement, and we can embrace it and create something with it, be it parts of your image or be it like the whole image. It's up to us. And I would say that as long as we stay creative, we will stay in control. But who
Yeah,
knows what the future brings?
I would add, so I wouldn't be worried about AI.
No,
At least I am not at all worried about AI.
me
The
neither.
beauty is that quality stands out, and it's a lot about taste, and you can develop your taste, and you get booked for your taste. But just to add that to that question, I'd like to pick out another question by Felix. He's asking, what is your top tip for getting your first magazine feature? And when is the right timing to approach to an agency as a photographer to get represented? So to answer the first question, top tip for getting your first magazine feature, I think it's important to differentiate between like the top tier magazines and indie magazines. I think it's always a good idea to start with smaller indie publications. And the way I love to do it was contact them directly and ask about their topics for the next magazines. Indie magazines usually get published biannually, like twice a year, or 4 to 6 times a year. So just contact them, ask them what's your topic for the next issues, and ideally they get back to you and tell you the topics. The other way that you can do it is plan a full shoot, plan a concept, like properly plan a concept. And like on concepting, we're also deep diving on that on the platform in the next weeks and month. It's so important to show the magazine editors that you have an idea what you want to do, that you can get creative, especially with indie magazines. Because indie magazines have a lot more freedom in what to publish. So either ask them, what do you want to see? What are your plans for the next month? Or come up with a full concept, pitch that to them, tell them, here's my idea, that's the plan. I already got a full creative team that's working with us on that. Are you interested in us shooting and producing that for you? Just one thing that I need to add on that is be prepared to do not get an answer. And that's just the way it is. If you send out, let's say, 50 emails to magazines, you might be lucky if you get 4 replies. That's just reality. Prepare for that. People don't take it personally. Editors don't mean it in a personal way. It's just because that might not be a fit aesthetically, or they have other plans, whatever the reason is. Never take it personally. Super important.
May
And
I just add very quickly, Per,
absolutely.
that in the first one of the first live Q&As, we have someone that is very close to the big magazines and that can completely unfold what magazines look out for right now.
Yes.
And she will be there in one of the first sessions, and I guess that will bring a ton of value especially in regards to these questions.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. She's amazing. And the
Okay.
second question, when's the right timing to approach a photographer's agency? Um, I'm not sure if there's a right timing. I like to challenge the view that I feel like a lot of photographers have, that once you have an agency, you don't have to work anymore. They will do all the stuff for you. I hear that all the time. Um, it can make sense at a certain point to have an agency because they have a different network, a whole new network, which gets you introduced to their network. And they will definitely, if it's a good agency, they will do proper marketing for you and visit clients and introduce your portfolio to them. But it's never the case that once you have an agency, all the jobs are coming in. That's just not the way it is. When is the right timing to have an agency? I wouldn't start too early, to be honest. I would establish myself, gain experience, because after all, clients approach photographers agencies and book photographers through agencies because they expect a certain standard and know that the artist can deliver under any circumstance, be it pressure, be it a tight schedule, whatever the issue might be. That's what they expect, and that's why clients approach photographers agencies. Um, I personally had my first agent after 8 years, so quite a while. And during that time, I had a lot of time and opportunity to gain experience, to be confident about myself and know what I'm doing. And it felt to me that was the right time, but that's obviously completely individual for anyone. I hope that answers your question, Felix.
Let me jump in with one of the next questions. Max asked how clients, oh, sorry, that was the wrong one. How does price and budget negotiations look like with the big international clients, with international in explanation marks? Pricing and budget is a very sensitive topic, and it's a great question. And I love that you ask that, because this is something we will definitely cover inside the lab. But to give you a quick answer on that, pricing is never like general. And from my experience, one should definitely step away from charging by the hour and charging, in any way that is making you comparable to all the other vendors. And I have to say vendors, because then you're just a number. And it's important to understand that it's always about the value that you deliver. And thinking in value-based pricing terms gets you away from being so comparable. You have to understand, if you work for a very big international client, because that's what you asked, they know what they look for. They care about nothing but excellence. And given that if you ask that question, it's a given that you deliver that excellence. They are only interested in what's the quality, how fast can they get it. And price is usually in that level is not the main criteria. So let me give you an example. I had a discussion with one of the art buying departments of a big agency. And I asked her the same question. What do you look for when you compare CEs, like the pricing cost estimates? And she said, I want to see that the person understands the scope of the job. I want to see that the pricing is high enough for me to believe that they know what they do. And that was an eye-opening moment for me. It was like, aha. So, and I asked her, so if someone appears to be too cheap, what does that mean? She said, I don't think that they understand what we're asking them. And that was a very, very interesting learning in that moment. And I understood that they are looking for professionals. When they contact you, like a big client like that, they know you can deliver on that job because otherwise they wouldn't contact you. When we're talking big international clients, if it's like the small label or something, it might be different and you might consider pricing in a different way. And then pointing out the value that you deliver to them, the quality, the speed, the excellence. You can talk about these things, and we will talk about pricing strategies, and we can, of course, in those calls, in the elite calls, you can bring your examples, and we can go through that, and we can work on your CE, your cost estimate together, to give you the perspective. But there's another very important thing that we need to point out, where it depends on where you're based. If you're working, because I know a lot of people from across the globe, and the markets are different. But if you're working for international clients, usually like the budgets are like not like very like territorialized. But it's important to understand that some areas in the world pay less, maybe than in Europe or in Germany or in, I don't know, in Italy or then maybe in Sweden or in Spain, or let's say go further in Russia or in the United States or in Latin America. It's a completely different approach, but the idea is the same. We need to point out that we can deliver, we have the creative excellence, and then we talk price. I hope that answers your question.
Well said. Absolutely. Yeah. Let me jump into, shall we do one more question each, Jan?
Yeah, sure. But please, if there's any question we didn't answer, feel free to raise your hand. Now's the chance that we can go through all the questions you have. It's a bit tough to read through all the questions and make sure that we cover everything. If there's anything that's on your heart, please just raise your voice. It's a safe space and there is no stupid question. Please feel free to ask whatever you want.
We have Michael or Michael. What does human interaction during a shoot look like, specifically with the model? For example, how much and what kind of directions are you giving? So, I can obviously also, only tell from my perspective. To me, the vibe on a shoot is the most important thing. And me as a photographer, I am responsible for that. So, in the morning when I jump on set, I'm a I'm a happy person in general, but even more so on set. And I like to set the tone to an inclusive, joyful vibe that starts with myself greeting everyone, talking to everyone, and not just asking, "How are you doing?" but how do you feel today? What's on your mind? What have you planned for today? Asking real questions and not just asking a question because it's polite. That's what I like to do. And especially with the model, I like to sit down a lot before the shoot to build up a vibe and a connection to him or her. That's super important because that vibe gets us easily through the day and just sets the tone for the rest of the day. And what I like to add on that, my job as a photographer is to talk in the first 3 or 4 hours. I have the big pleasure that I have great lighting operators who set up the lights and a DJ operator who sets up the computer during commercial shoots, which I highly recommend you do if you haven't done yet so, because these guys take care of setting up what you planned while you can interact and talk to the crew, to the model, and build up relationships to them to have a super smooth day and get the best results possible. So to answer that question, it's just, to me, probably the most important thing, communicating and setting the tone.
Yeah. Hey, Per, we have 2 raised hands. Let's start with, what is your name? Elise, is that correct?
Yes, it's Ulysses.
Elise.
Hey.
Hey,
Lovely seeing you.
Yeah, you too. Likewise. Thank you guys for organizing the Curated Lab. I think it's come at the perfect kind of moment for my personal like career path. I was looking for something that could elevate and kind of a guidance. I studied photography at university as well, and been working for 5 years. So I'm not going to take too much time, but I'm based in Melbourne, Australia.
Oh,
So,
nice.
and I'm planning to. I think I've
It's
been
in the
in
middle of
touch.
the night, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost 3.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
Are you still awake
So
or
yeah,
woke up early?
but yeah, I was very excited to get to speak with you guys as well. Like, I
Thank
mean,
you
to hear
for
you guys
I love
speak
thank
the
you
about
for
commitment.
being
the
here.
lab. Sorry, your audio's cut out. But yeah, my question is, I'm planning to. I think your audio's cut out for me for some reason, but so I'm planning to come to Paris possibly in May, and I'm not sure the duration. So I have a friend that lives in. It's very personal, so sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I would like to maybe potentially. I work as a digital operator, as a digi and a lighting technician here for the past 5 years with different photographers, TVCs, different kind of work. And I'd like to come to possibly work with you guys, or with you, Per, or some other photographers. What would be your approach to kind of getting in touch and starting to build possibly the move to Paris, and to possibly trial the working as a lighting tech? And
So,
yeah.
well, I actually think it's a great idea to go to Paris because Paris is where it's happening. I mean, obviously also London, Berlin, Milan, and New York for like the fashion. But Paris is a great starting point because it's not that big and it's a large community. I think the best idea is to contact production companies and rental stores in Paris, because usually the lighting department and digi department runs through production companies in Paris, and I think that's definitely the best way to get like your foot into the door, and well, obviously also meeting a ton of people, meeting, I don't know, 10 people a day or so, just to get your name out there. It's basically so important if you're, I mean, if you're new to a city, and it doesn't matter in which kind of field you're working, it always helps to meet people and, spread the word that you're around. But in your case, like in our industry, I would definitely contact production companies, and I'm happy to share a list of production companies and people to contact within the lab, which is actually a great idea that we could add to our lab library, Jan. We should write that down, like a full production company list, and who to contact in which city. That's always very handy, I think.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yes, Per, I just sent you a quick note in private. Can you check it? Yeah, Alicia, I think that's sorry. Can you spell your name again?
Yeah, it's Ulysses.
Ulysses. First of all, I love the energy, and I love that you're staying up so late. That's more than most appreciated, really. And I love that you step up and that you say where you want to go, and we will definitely set up this information for you, because I think it's very important that you are able to take your next step, and to make sure that you get connections to the right people. Yes.
Thank you. And just another quick, I guess, just follow up as well. I initially, I've gotten I left the question in the chat as well, but I'll just directly ask.
Yeah.
The pro version, but I think Elite, like, just to get in touch with you guys more frequently would probably make sense. Is it possible to upgrade from that initial kind of founding, and yeah, maybe to also, yeah, this setup call?
Yeah, I would actually say let's talk about that after the call and see what's possible. Jan, do you have anything to add on that?
No, but of course. Well, first of all, of course,
It's
you can
always
upgrade.
possible.
We just have to think about your ask, the other one with the 30
Yeah.
minutes, because that was an exclusive offer for new people. But let us think about it and get back to you, okay?
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks
But
very much,
yes,
guys.
everybody
for
is,
asking.
is of course eligible to upgrade. Thank you for speaking up. So cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next one is Aditya. Or, can you unmute yourself? Are you
Are you with us, Aditya?
do you still want to talk? Please feel free to unmute yourself.
He's actually posted his question in the chat. It's not possible for him to talk, but he has posted his question in the
Okay.
comments. Okay,
All right. Sorry. Let's find it.
let's see.
It's always the
All right, I got it.
very
So
up.
I'll read it
Cool.
out loud. So it is sometimes very overwhelming looking at other photographers' work who are doing amazing. How do you keep your head up looking at all the competition, especially when you are starting out? So what I like to add on that is comparing is the creator's death.
So true.
At least that's a saying in Germany. I don't know if it's international. But I mean, I think no one can free themselves that we every now and then compare ourselves with others, especially on social media, where you have the impression that everybody's living the best life and there's only wins and no losses. I personally really try to not compare myself with others, but I do have a vision where I want to go and where I want to be, and what my imagery shall look like, and that's rather how I approach it. But when you start out, I like to rather say, don't compare yourself, but have people that you look up to and get inspired by them, not comparing them. Because, looking at photographers who are doing amazingly well, they usually are already a long time in the industry, and you never know when they started. There's like photographers who started when they were 4 years old, and they are now in the 40s, so they have shot for 40 years. But there are other photographers who only started with 30 or 35, so you never know the backstory to it. So try not to compare yourself, but rather get inspired and make yourself a clear plan and vision where you want to be and see which steps can lead to that. Jan, would you like to add something to that?
Yeah, actually, I've been talking to my son a lot about this. He's close to be turning 11, and he knows that comparing yourself to others can only lead to misery, especially when it's about things you cannot control. And well, maybe sometimes, when it's about competition in a like sportive environment, it can be motivating, and comparing yourself to people that maybe can run faster or whatever, that can be like an impulse that can help you. But comparing yourself to the quality of others, if you see that as a motivation, that can be a boost for your let's say the energy you put into your growth. I think that's good. If there's anything that makes you feel bad, I think comparison is something that will definitely lead not to be in a good energy and to be motivated to take the next step, to create something new, to play with your imagery. And but I know exactly how that feels. I have been comparing myself for a long time until I reached out to my first mentors, and I have had mentors from all over the world and I started out when there was no YouTube around. Imagine that. And I didn't find any material. But I was fortunate enough to be in an area where there were some professionals that I was able to contact. And it was so good to be under their wings for some time to understand what it's really about to grow as an artist. Because I think everybody knows the imposter syndrome. And even though you have reached a certain level of expertise, maybe already, there is this tiny voice in your head that says, am I good enough? Or is it, why doesn't the client respond to me? Or these kind of things. And I learned to deal with this, and I learned to trust my inner voice, and especially to trust my eye that I trained for the time that I've been working in this. And I trusted my skills, and I became more confident in communication. And I understood that communication and managing expectations, and of course, exceeding expectations of a client, like always deliver a bit more than is demanded. And you will grow without any like you don't have to add to this if you deliver constantly, and if you do your very best, you did enough, right? So there's always someone that is better, and I think comparing yourself can lead to the feeling that you won't reach the next step. And I would suggest that you take it step by step. And if you have a big goal, that you want to become like David LaChapelle and you want to be the best photographer in the world, start with increments, start with steps, set yourself targets, goals in between, and reach them time by time. It's like driving through the fog. You can see like 10 meters wide, you drive 10 meters and you see the next 10 meters. I hope you understand what I mean. And I think that's about what I want to add to this. I hope it even made sense.
At least to me, it makes sense. So
Okay.
let me see. I think we got another question here. Let me read that out loud. Even after working on the basics, such as creating mood boards and sketches, communicating with a whole team while being on set can be challenging sometimes. How do you make sure that your vision is getting conveyed properly? I think there's a lot that comes also with experience and being, well, I can only, well, answer that from my perspective, obviously. I know back in the day when I started out and like during my first 6, 7 years, I had the impression that I was responsible to do everything myself on set. I was setting the lights myself. I was doing the catering, even on commercial jobs, because I didn't know better and I just did it. And I was stuck in so much pressure and couldn't communicate well. And I was so nervous before every shoot. And it was so energy draining. But after realizing that I just have to trust people and have people on set who take care of that and take care of the lighting, take care of the digi, take care of the catering. I mean, just saying that it's all a process, and I think it's just so important to really focus on what your duties as a photographer are on set, and while doing so and trusting the people around you, and also having the right people on set. That leads me to the point that it's so important to do a lot of free work, like networking, getting to know people, and you immediately feel like who's resonating with me, and gather those people around you. And if you can trust those people, you can trust them on commercial jobs, and they will do well and they got your back, and you can focus on communicating with the client and communicating your vision. At least that's what helped me. I hope that answers your question. Jan, do you have any more?
Sorry, I have been going through a couple of
I saw it.
responses in the
Amazing.
chat, but I gave you another one that I passed on. I think that's fair. Can you check it, please?
Yes.
In our chat.
Yeah. I saw it. Perfectly fine. Absolutely.
All right, let me check if.
Okay, give me a second. I'm going through all the questions if there's more.
Thank you, Milton. Happy to have you here. Thank you. Is there any other questions? Sorry, guys, I have to browse them. The chat is moving, and I have to go back to see if there was something else.
So I got a question here from Adalbert. Um, so he's asking, do you agree that Profoto brown color are essentially the industry standard for lighting? I feel like it's much harder to achieve truly high-end results with budget lights. Consistency isn't the same. It's harder to build a clean volumetric depth, and skin tones often look worse. Since switching to Profoto, the difference has been huge for me. Would you say top-tier gear is extremely important, especially when you work with high-end clients? Yes, when you work with high-end clients, it is important because you want to keep your light and the colors and skin tones consistent. But I don't think it's 100% necessary that you have that from the beginning because either it's super expensive, and when you start out, you usually don't have that much money. And I feel like lights like Allen Chrome are super nice as well, and you can perfectly work with them. It doesn't have to be the most expensive gear because after all, you're starting out. Of course, it's usually more fun to work with the most expensive gear, but I'm also not owning a Breezer light myself. So I always like to say that it's a very good idea to work with rental companies. That's how I do it, and that's how a lot of professional photographers do it. If you shoot like for a portfolio or like personal work, just go to rental store, and like in the lab you have the equipment lists. Just go to rental store with the list and rent that gear. That way you can try the gear, you can get a feel for it, and work with the best gear. You don't have to. Well, I know very few photographers who buy all their gear because it just doesn't make sense to own that much gear and spend that much money because like a proper stacked equipment library costs you, I don't know, 500,000 or even more. So it doesn't make sense to buy all the gear. It's nice to have a few lights, but even that, I do own 2 lights because I don't care about that too much. I would always go for renting out them, and rent what you need for that specific job or editorial or personal work. That's how I like to approach it. I hope that answers the question. Max, you are raising your hand.
Hey guys, I'm
Hey,
gonna
hey,
Hi.
nice to see
go
you.
right to the question. Likewise, likewise. So this morning I asked Per about the how to charge the professional fashion work, and the he responded a couple of versions and plus usage and licensing. So
Mhm.
could you explain it's more broadly about this part because it's not
Abs-
quite understandable and plus production scope. Well, that's clear. Yeah. Please, yeah, can you add the usage and licensing? How does it work actually?
Absolutely. So
Thanks.
usually, and I recommend for every client, whether it be a small client, a medium-sized client, or a huge client, you as a photographer, you have your day fee and you have a fee for image rights. Um, that means the client is licensing the rights for images. That can be, well, that usually is for a certain period. Let's take a fashion client. Usually, fashion clients license your images for 6 months, maybe 12 months, because after 6 months, the new collection is dropping. So they won't need the old images anymore. And you basically charge a fee for this time frame, and also you charge for certain areas in the world. There's licensing for just one country, for Europe wide, for US wide, for worldwide, for Russia wide, whatever. You have to be very specific in pointing out where your images are used. Then there's also a difference between pure online usage. That means on homepages or social media. And if the client wants print ads, then there's an extra licensing fee for, out of home campaigns. And for all of you who don't know what out of home is, That means that your images are spread all over, like, let's say, a city, on the big billboards or in the shopping mall or in the store of that particular brand. And
Hola,
hola.
Oh,
ya,
all right.
ok,
I will unmute
perfecto.
him.
Gracias.
So that's basically what image licensing means, that you charge the client for where he wants to use the images, countries, time frame, print or online. And it's a very delicate field because there's so much to look out for. I know a few photographers who like bring in like package prices, like their day fee plus usage. I don't recommend doing this because it's always nice to separate things and be as detailed as possible. Yeah, that's basically. I hope it answers your question. To dive into like in a deep way, it would probably take a couple of hours. But just to give you a rough idea of what image licensing is about, it's very important to know a bit about that and to always license your image.
So basically, it should be in your contract when you send it to the client.
Yes, well, it's
Terms and
basically written,
agreements.
it's basically written out in the cost estimate that you send the client, where your day fee is listed, your equipment fee, your prep fee, your rep fee, your travel fee, and also your licensing fee. So this belongs in the estimate.
Understood. Thanks so much.
Of course. Thanks for asking.
Okay, Per, if you check my private message, I will answer a question from Jose. Jose asked, how did you raise your rates? Well, that is not a clear, there is not one clear answer to that, but I believe, one key indicator is when your client says yes right away. If they say yes right away, you might be too cheap. And if you get too many jobs for a level of salary that you think is too low, you should probably go higher. That's one key thing to watch out for. The other thing is, I've been mentioning this earlier, when you talk about niching or expertise, you are like specialized, and specialists always get paid better, and that separates you from the rest of the generalists. And I would highly consider, at least in your official communication, think about if you can niche down at least a bit, saying beauty, saying fashion, and not being beauty, fashion, hair, and commercial. That would and car and whatever, and maybe also wedding. These things will definitely put you down in the felt value of your work, correlates to your pricing. I hope that gives you a quick answer to that.
Yeah, I would also add to that it's always good to niche down, which does not mean that you shouldn't do like commercial work or other work. Just don't show it. You have to be very specific in your portfolio, because, well, you should be that specific that clients book you for what you want to be booked. But if there's, a client from a completely different field who says, "Can you shoot that for me?" Do it, of course, because you want to earn money as well, and you always learn something, no matter on which production you are. But just don't show it afterwards, like on your Instagram or in your portfolio. But keep it on the side for yourself. And if there's another client approaching you and asking, "Well, have you ever shot this and that?" then you can show it to them and say, "Yeah, I've got proof here. I did that before, but I only show it to certain clients." That's how I would approach it.
Yes.
And we got another question here regarding our plans, saying, "I have the same question as Alize. I'd like to upgrade to Elite, but I just realized I'm on the monthly for Pro. Is there a possibility to get yearly Elite considering this first payment?" Yes, that is, of course, possible. You can just upgrade within your lab and hit the upgrade button to Elite Yearly. That's no problem at all.
And there's one more question from Simon.
Guys, I'll be right back. I need to jump to the restroom. See you in a second.
I will read the questions from Simon. For those who live in places without a strong fashion ecosystem, no agencies, very few stylists, limited models, and not much of created network, how much can someone realistically grow while staying local? Do you think it's still possible to build a solid fashion portfolio and attract serious clients remotely? Or at some point, does relocating become almost necessary to access better opportunities and collaborations? Simon, I believe you live in a very beautiful area in Sicily, right? Do you want to unmute yourself? Does it work? Can I help you? Wait, there you are.
Done. Thank you.
First of all, it's really nice to see you again. What a nice coincidence for everybody. I'd love to tell a quick story. Simone and me met one time when we were on a big production in Sicily, I believe 4 years ago. And we were shooting in the streets of, was it Ortigia?
Ortigia, yes.
Ortigia, yes. And
Piazza Duomo in Ortigia.
Yes,
It
was a beautiful evening, and you bumped into us with the team, and you were asking questions, and it was really nice to have you around. So I think Sicily in particular is probably not really comparable, for example, to Milan, right, in Italy, where it's like a fashion hotspot. I guess Per will have a few other thoughts to that, but I know a few people that are working in the creative industry in Sicily, and I would say from their experience, it is very important to be willing and able to travel a lot, to come to like maybe do like parts of become part of a production team in a place where you can, you know, get the experience to be like live involved into shootings, into fashion productions. And Per, there you are.
We are back.
Please read the question of Simon we were just discussing.
Yeah, well, I heard it. I heard it on the restroom. It's about where you're based and
Yes,
how much impact that has.
And Simon is based in Sicily, and that's where we met back then, which is...
I remember the story, and Simone and me already chatted a bit. So,
okay. Maybe you want to take it from there.
Absolutely. I think it's not mandatory to be based in one of the big cities, because nowadays, and it sounds like I'm super old, but that's the way it is nowadays.
You are.
I am. Nowadays, through social media and the internet in general, it's so easy to get your work out there and to be seen by the right people. But what's definitely a lot easier is to travel to those cities, and because usually the best creative people gather in the bigger cities. So, for example, I mean, in Italy, it's Rome and of course Milan. I think it's very rewarding to plan a couple of trips during the year to produce personal work in those cities, establish a network and get to know the creative scene, and then shoot as much as possible personal work for your portfolio and the direction you want to take. I don't think it's, to answer the question fully, I don't think it's absolutely mandatory to live in one of the big cities nowadays. But it helps. Of course, it helps.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Grazie mille.
Grazie mille.
Speak soon. Yes. Okay. Kyle I was about to answer that in the chat, but I can say it out loud now. Kyle asked, he was a bit late, and yes, the record will be posted inside the lab in the replay session. And as this was an open talk, this will be also on our YouTube channel.
Yep.
So
Definitely.
you can rewatch everything.
And we will probably also post a few snippets on social media the next days.
Okay.
All right.
That's that. Is there any more questions? Now is the time that we can answer everything. If
Max,
you have more questions,
shoot it.
shoot.
Hi guys, I was asking. Oh, sorry.
One more question. Like Per mentioned, yeah, most of the time, I have to do all the job. For example, the light, the retouching and everything. So in case you can have someone to help you out, like who would be the first guy you would choose, like on the light or what kind of assistance would be the first?
So I think on set, it would have to be a light assistant, most definitely. I know a few photographers, I point a light assistant or light operator out because setting up all the lights and all the gear requires a lot of physical work that we have to be on set and build everything. So that way you can't talk to clients. What you can do if there's no other way is, setting up your computer to tether into it while talking to the clients. This is something that you can do. How do you say, at the same time. But setting up the lights and talking to the client, this just won't work. You have to focus on the one or the other. So I recommend definitely getting a light operator first, because that helps a lot in terms of communication on set. Afterwards, having a specialized retoucher makes total sense because the reasons Jan will explain. There are many reasons to have a retoucher. I can share my view on that. First of all, it gets the job done properly because a retoucher is someone who does it all the time. This is his or her main job, and they are experts. And if they are good, they can execute your vision properly. It saves you time, it saves you nerves. It ideally also saves you money. Of course, you have to pay them, but if the job is shit, you have to pay double the amount, so to say. So, and there's a ton of other reasons why it's good to work with a retoucher. Jan, do you want to add a bit?
Well, working in symbiosis, I think, makes a lot of sense because you will get the best out of the professions. If you do everything yourself as a photographer, I think it's fair. Of course, it depends on your schedule, time, availability, but certainly in some jobs, definitely on your skill level. And for example, for me, I don't work with everyone. I work with the people that have the same vision, and I like to be, to be part of the production also prior to the shooting, because then we can align on the full production scope, and we can talk about certain, let's say, challenges through the eye of the post-production, which in many cases can bring value to the production. Coming back to more, let's say, more biggest of wrong word, but complex productions means that, for example, I just mentioned that we were in Sicily for 2 weeks for a big production with a team of 30 people. It was crucial for me and for my team to be there, to be able to make sure that everything that has been shot, because we were shooting 12 different locations, 1 image a day. Like, it was a very complex composite every day. And in these cases, it does absolutely make sense not only to work with a retoucher, but to have the retouch artist on set to make sure that everything you need is shot perfectly, and to iterate on set if these things really match, because there's no opportunity to reshoot. That's one thing. But the other thing, I think the most important thing, is clear communication and growing together. Because Per and me, we've been working together for, I don't know, a lot of years.
Eight
And
years or so? 9 years? Something like that?
Possibly. And so, you know, there is not much talking needed. When Per has his images ready, he sends them to us, and we work on them, and he gets what he wants. And there is actually no real communication needed, because we understand each other. And that is a big plus for productions, because we know what we get. We can deliver what Per expects, and it saves a lot of time, and also it's a lot of fun to work together and to grow together. And so that's why I would recommend trying that, because it will free you from the after work, so to say. And and for example, if you work in a team like me, we know exactly how to work together, and we can be so much more efficient and faster. That leads to faster turnarounds for productions, because you know how it is. If you work with clients, not only it happens more than you think, that they say, well, we had the shooting today, and actually we do need the images tomorrow. And we're like, so how do you do that when you have to do that yourself? It's even hard to do that when you work with a team, but that's an extreme example. But certainly if you get to a certain level, that makes life so much easier. Per.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you.
Nothing to add on that. Let me pick one more question here, guys, and maybe Jan one as well, and we're going to wrap it up after that.
Yes.
Sweet. So Kyle is asking, is it important to assist other photographers to get better at lighting? I shoot both fashion editorial and commercial at the moment, but I feel like there's only so much I can learn on my own. Well, I can only speak for myself again. I didn't do a proper like assistant time like 4 or 5 years because I didn't know better. I didn't study photography or anything like that. I was studying business administration and international politics, and somehow ended up here. And it was never the plan. And just because of that, I didn't know that there's the option to assist. I only knew it later in my career. But so I basically learned it all by myself through like YouTube and stuff back in the day. But was fortunate enough to meet various mentors who helped me on the way and guided me, and that was very, very helpful. But to answer your question, I would definitely assist, because it's a great shortcut to gain a lot of knowledge in a fairly short amount of time, especially being on set. I think this is the most crucial, because there are things on set that you can only learn on set, that can't be taught. And that's like how the vibe is on set, and what you do on set, how you communicate on set. I can of course share my knowledge on that, but to add on that, it's always nice to be on set yourself. So I would definitely recommend also assisting while getting knowledge wherever you can. Yeah.
Yes. I have one question that I found in Jesus. He wanted to speak to us with the microphone, but he doesn't see the option of raising a hand. So Jesus, I'm asking you now to start your microphone. Maybe
Hi.
you see that? Yes.
Can you
there
hear
are.
me?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you guys for the call. This has been really helpful. I was wondering, because I got your post suggested on my Instagram feed, and then I was walking through your page. And my situation is that I've been shooting for maybe 6 years, but recently I just got into wanting to get into editorial and trying to learn Capture One. So I recently got my license. But the thing is that I've been struggling to find resources that are actually helpful to like to really understand and learn how it's used on set and editorial. What I'm trying to say is that I've already watched all the Capture One videos, trying to learn from them. But just I've been struggling with color and just grading and I don't know, I feel like I'm lacking some really insightful videos into it. So I was considering getting your course, but I'm seeing that it's 50 euros a month, I think, if I just get it for 1 month. So I was wondering it if I just get it for 1 month, it already comes with all the video models for high-end retouching, or that is going to be coming through the year this year.
So,
Well-
well, do you want to answer or shall I?
Yeah, I can give a quick answer to that. So, first of all, yes, it's a great question to ask. First of all, the Capture One part, but also about the pricing. So, Capture One. Right now, there are the starting modules are already available, and it explains how I set up Capture One, how I work with styles, how I get them out there. What we will cover in the coming months will be how to actually create like consistent, coherent color in Capture One, and we will do that over time. That means right now you can get a lot of information already, but there will be more to come. And we want to, as I said, maybe you heard that also in the beginning of the talk today, we want to grow the content also aligning on the needs of our community. Okay, so that is a good question, and we definitely note what you want and where you want to go. Asking your questions about the monthly. Monthly means that, of course, you can access everything that is available, but not everything is available yet. And we will drop new content every month. And so I cannot tell you exactly when the new Capture One thing, especially what you would like to see, will be like shown, but it will definitely come. So maybe you start with a monthly and see how the content is for you, if it's valuable for you, if you get what you need. And you can give us feedback if there's anything you're lacking. And we will be making sure that it's coming in the next possible drops. Okay. And Per, are you there?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. And of course, if you think about maybe coming into the yearly section, if you compare the prices, you can see that it is like 50% off the monthly price if you take it the yearly option. And then you can see like if it makes sense for you to stay for a longer time and also to participate from the live calls, etc.
Okay.
The recordings, I mean.
Yeah, thank you very much. Because it's actually, I feel like for people that are starting like me or haven't been in the industry enough, I haven't found like resourceful YouTube videos that are actually like in-depth professional guidance into color grading at least. Like you can find things, but I don't see how they're really directioned into editorial work at least, or really professional work. Like I don't know if people know here, there's a subreddit that it's really helpful, at least it has been for me. It's called Light Lurking, and there's plenty of resources there, but I feel like probably and that this is what you're offering, like the part where it's like side by side in a way, or you can ask questions. You're part of a community of professionals that are actually there to help, because then sometimes it can feel like people are kind of like gatekeeping information, and most of the people they feel like a little entitled to just like feel better than you and not share everything. And so yeah, I will definitely consider joining.
Check
Like
it
right
out.
now my
Yes.
situation is not the best, but
Oh, that's
but
completely understandable
definitely
and fine. One other thing that I would like to point you to, I did a lot of webinars with Capture One, and you can find them on YouTube, on Capture One channel, or also on my YouTube channel. Feel free to just check it out. And if there is anything you would like to, as I said, us to integrate into the lab, feel free to suggest, because as we said, we want to make this a place where we grow together, and we really value if
absolutely.
someone shares their needs with us, because then we can react to it and also prioritize things.
And it's actually also, but to me, because I felt like at certain times there was a lack of, I didn't felt seen, and my deep wish is that you guys feel seen and that we incorporate what you guys need, because the platform ultimately is for you, for other creatives to grow and to grow together. And that's why it's so important to hear you guys out and what we can incorporate on the platform and which topics to cover, so that you get the most value out of it.
Well, thank you so much for your work already, guys. It's really
Thank you for
helpful.
asking. Thank you for joining today.
Per, we have 2 technical questions in the chat that we should answer.
Yeah, but I do have 5 more minutes. My little boy wants to go out. So shall we cover these and then wrap it up?
Yeah, while you check the technical questions, Raffo, maybe just ask your question. I can answer them in the meantime, maybe.
Well,
Yeah,
just
I-
quickly on. Let me just quickly. Sorry, Raffo, I'll be right with you. Let me just quickly answer the technical question. So the 50% offer was available during the first 3 days after we started out. So it's
No, not 50%, not 15.
Oh wait,
was
50. Oh, hold on. What is
the
50?
50% is, I think
sorry,
means
I misread that.
the yearly in comparison to the monthly.
I misread that. So actually, the 50% means that when you go for the yearly plan, this is already 50% less than when you would pay each month separately. That's what's meant by the 50%.
Okay. And the other question, Per, with the platform accepting euros?
Well, actually, only for, I think in 20 days. I think in 20 days, the platform is able to accept any currency in the world. We're working on that, and that will be available in, I think, February 24th.
Okay, great. All right, so the last question, you can please unmute yourself again. And that was the last question for today, and then we will wrap it up. Raffo?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask. I'm assigned to the monthly pro. I'm
Plan?
sorry, I don't speak very good English.
It's
But
okay. The monthly pro plan, yes.
yeah, and how many lessons, like how many videos do you upload every month, like every week? Or how often do you upload your different lessons videos?
So, thank you for asking. We do upload, we have like a monthly content drop where we drop new lighting setups, where we drop new Capture One styles, and where we also drop the retouching modules. There's not a fixed number of content that we drop. Usually it's by topic, especially in the retouching section.
Yeah.
If it's like a like a cohesive module, for example, like basic skin retouching, basic hair retouching, then it's going to be more videos. It really depends on the topic that we're covering in the new content drop. Jan, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think you said it all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for asking. All right, guys. I think that was a beautiful, beautiful session with all of you. Thank you so much for asking, for participating, for joining, for your time.
Thank you all for staying so long, and
especially in Australia.
Are you going for breakfast soon? And I wish you a fantastic breakfast with a lot of protein.
Actually, my brother lives in San Fran. I'm flying tomorrow to San Francisco. So,
Oh, wow. That's a fairly
All
long
right.
flight.
You can sleep on the plane then.
Yeah, for
maybe I
sure.
won't sleep now.
So,
Enjoy San
Thank
Francisco.
you guys. I
Sounds
really
good.
appreciate it. You
thank
guys
you,
are
guys.
great. Thank you.
And to anyone else who is not flying and not staying up all night, enjoy your evening, enjoy your day wherever you are based. It's amazing to meet so many people from all over the world. This is exactly the spirit, and that makes it even more nice and fulfilling and joyful to see you and communicate with you, and well, to help you grow in your journey.
Yes, thank you all so much. We see you guys in the next Elite call, and we're really happy for everybody that joined this call today, for everybody that's coming to the lab. We will see you in the future, and thank you so much for spending your time with us.
And by the way, check your email inboxes. There's an email going out in the next 30 minutes with a special offer.
All right, take care, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.